friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lindsay Parker and sometimes I like to do a little makeup. And today I want to introduce to you a very simple, sweet, timeless bridal look. To begin, before you even put on your makeup, you need to assess your skin and your face shape. My skin is pretty combination. I get oily in all of the normal spots, but I also have a little acne and some dry patches. If you have dry skin like me, you want to make sure to exfoliate and moisturize before applying anything to your face. I like to use Aquaphor for my dry patches. And then, if you have acne like myself, what I like to do is prime my face. I use a primer with coconut oil. It hydrates and kind of helps my skin to look a little more radiant. And then I also like to use this Bye Bye Undereye Full Coverage Concealer. I like to dab it on the spots, let it sit for a couple of minutes, and then apply my foundation. If you tend to have oily skin, you're going to want to still cleanse your face, use a good toner, and try to find you a moisturizer, like a gel moisturizer, something that's not going to make your skin more oily, and maybe use a mattifying primer. You can also get mattifying foundation. You're going to want to choose a foundation for your skin type that's going to last all day. It's got to last from the morning that you get ready, through your pictures, through any snacks you might eat, all the way through the reception. Like I said before, assess your skin type. If you have dry skin, you're going to want something more luminous. If you have oily skin, you're going to want to choose a mattifying foundation. One of my personal favorite foundations that has a matte finish is the Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation by Tarte. Another one of my favorite foundations for events such as like beauty pageants or weddings is the Perfect Face Foundation. It's called Picture Perfect Foundation, and this is in the shade Y3. I'm going to use my foundation brush and just begin in the middle of the face and bring it outward. This is a very full coverage foundation, so a little bit goes a long way. I'm going to bring it down my neck since it is so full coverage so that it doesn't look like I just have a floating head. It'll also look really nice and uniform in your photos. Now that I have my foundation in place, I'm going to conceal up under my under eyes and just kind of highlight in the middle of the face. And for that, I'm going to use the Bye Bye Undereye Waterproof Full Coverage Anti-Aging Concealer. And this is in the shade Light Natural. Grab a concealer brush. Where is it? Okay, I got it. Concealer brush. And we're just going to squirt a little bit onto the brush. Pat it under the eye here. This one is really nice because, like I said, it is full coverage, but the main thing is it's waterproof, right? So if you're like me, weddings in Alabama, especially if they're outside, can get really hot. You also cry a lot at weddings. So a waterproof concealer is my best choice. By the way, you do not have to put concealer on your eyelid if you don't want to, because a lot of us use shadow primers. I do though use concealer because I have like these really dark blue huge veins that run in my eyelids, and if I don't conceal them, it kind of they kind of peek through my eyeshadow. So anyway, little tip there. So I've got concealer under both eyes now. We're just going to conceal the middle of the face. So I'm going to do the nose, a little bit up here. Let's do one more. This little tube is like a sample tube, FYI, I think. Yeah. And it's going to last you forever because the foundation is so full coverage and so thick that, I mean, you just literally need like a tiny, tiny little seed size amount to do what you need to do. We're just going to buff this in, blend it nicely. We don't want to highlight too much, just the middle of the face mostly. And I'm going to add some concealer here. This is a little bit darker. This is medium, but it's the same brand. I'm just going to add a little right onto the little blemish there. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to set my concealer. And with that, I'm going to do the Perfect Face Picture Perfect Powder in shade Honey Pot. Now, I got this powder when I started doing weddings and beauty pageants because it's not supposed to have any flashback. Like, it's not supposed to look weird and too bright when, like, the flash hits your face. So it won't look crazy in pictures, you know? So it's perfect for your big day. Or, like, if you're going to be on stage in front of a bunch of lights. So we're just going to use this fluffy brush. I think I got this from e.l.f. Yeah, it's the e.l.f. Flawless Face Brush. And I love it. And we're just going to pat this on to kind of set the concealer and powder. And also help to control my oily spots on my face. Alright, so I've got my concealer and foundation set with some loose powder. And I'm not going to heavily contour my face. But I do want to add some bronzer because very full coverage foundations can leave you a little washed out. What we're going to do is I got this little mini in my Birchbox. It's Park Avenue Princess. It's the Amazonian Clay Waterproof Bronzer. So again, it's waterproof. And we're going to pat it on. I'm not going to like really rub because like I said before, this foundation will, like you will drag lines in your foundation. So we're just going to kind of pat on the cheekbones. We're going to keep this up high and not bring it all the way down because I don't want my face to look muddy. I want it to look lifted and bronzed and pretty. So we're going to keep it up high on the cheekbones. Just going to kind of bring it up towards my temples a little on each side and bronze the forehead a little bit. Oh, my brush broke again. We're just going to, you know, do what we have with what we have. And again, I'm trying to keep it really up close to the hairline here. I don't want it too far into the middle of my forehead. I have a smaller forehead. And so if I bring it in too hard, if I bring it too far down, it will make my forehead and my makeup just look muddy. And that is not what we're going for. My little baby hairs. I've been taking biotin and all kinds of vitamins to help my hair grow back out. And all these little baby hairs have been sprouting out along my hairline. They're kind of annoying. So I am going to bronze my nose just a little bit. Just kind of like this from here. And then cast like a little shadow effect right in here for my double chin. I'm also going to bring a little bronzer down onto my neck, and really if you are wearing like a strapless or v-neck, bring that foundation and bronzer down onto your chest just a bit so that it, you know, looks uniform. It doesn't look funny or awkward in your pictures. Okay, let's do a little bit of blush. I'm going to kind of steer more towards the peachy ones, but I mean really you can just do like this and kind of mix them up. And like we did before with the brush, I'm going to start here and kind of pat upwards. To create a lifting effect. And then I'm going to kind of bring it up here. Wow, that blush is like a lot, so don't put much on your brush, okay? And a little here. Okay, yeah, I went a little heavy on the blush. So what I did is I took this powder that we used before up under the eyes, and I used it to just kind of gently buff over the blush to kind of tone it down some and blend it in so it's not quite as fierce. What I want to do now, I want to go ahead and set my face. Some of my favorite setting sprays are, I just had them right here. Oh my gosh. Okay. Of course, the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray is a really good one for weddings especially. Also another one that I really like, it's called Slay All Day, and of course I can't find it, but maybe I will put a picture like right here. Slay All Day. But since I can't find it, we're going to use the All Nighter Urban Decay and go ahead and spray my face. As we'll move on to eyeshadow. And I'm going to use this palette here. I think this is really beautiful, so I'm going to use this today. To begin, I'm going to use this tan shade here, Blossom. It's a very good neutral shade to use as a transition shade. I'm going to use a very fluffy, soft brush, and we're just going to buff that in right into the crease. And with this, you can use little sideways motions, windshield wiper motions. You can kind of swirl it if you want to. It really doesn't matter. However you want to do it. I do a combination of all three, just depending on what I feel like I need to do. I'm going to kind of wing this out just slightly. My eyes are a little bit smaller, so I like to kind of wing it out to make them appear a little larger. When doing your eye makeup, it is very important to consider your eye shape. Are your eyes bigger or smaller? Are they spread out more towards your temples? Are they in closer to your nose? Do you have hooded eyes? All of that you need to take into consideration, because no eye makeup trick is for everyone. For example, if you have smaller eyes like myself or hooded eyes, you don't want to go really heavy on eyeliner or bring it in too dark here towards the nose. You want to keep it lighter in towards the nose and go a little heavier the further out you get. I'm going to use this Full Bloom next, right in the crease. We're going to just start right here and just like really get in the crease, not above it, just right there in it with this little brush. Try not to go too hard in there. The harder you go in with your eyeshadow, the harder it is to blend out later. So I actually changed my mind and decided to go with a more fluffy looking taper edged brush to make this look a little more blended and not quite so harsh. And again, as you can see, I'm just kind of like very lightly winging that out. I'm starting in the middle, and by the time I get out of here towards the outside of my eye, there's not a whole lot left on the brush. So I'm using whatever is left and just slightly flicking it outwards. Now I'm going back to this little taper edged brush. We're going into a darker shade, Branch. And I'm going to go right into this outer V right here. Just gently place it. And without going back into my palette, I'm just going to take whatever is left and go right here in the crease. So I went ahead and did the same thing to the other eye off camera. Just went into the outer V, and then with whatever is left on my brush, I just brought it into the crease. And now I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to go into this shade here, Harmony. And we're going to bring it just right there. And really, I guess you can wet your finger a little bit or wet a brush, and it'll kind of make those shades pop a little bit more if you need them to. Same thing on this side, just right here in the middle. Okay, then we're going to take this shade, Hannah, and go towards the inner part of the eyelid. Pretty. Alright, now let me find a little brush, and we're going to use Peak right here. Just very lightly tap it in there and go along the brow line. Just kind of helps to brighten it up right in there. Just very subtly. So that's all I'm going to do from this palette. We're going to go ahead and grab a big fluffy brush. Grab a fluffy brush and blend all of this out. Make it look nice. No harsh lines. Just simple, pretty, and blended. And then we'll do mascara. Throw on some lashes. And we're almost done, so hang in there. So for eyeliner today, we are going to use the MAC Pro Longwear Fluid Line in Blacktrack. So it's just a black gel liner. And we're going to use a little liner brush like so. I'm just going to use a very little bit. Okay, and kind of brush it off on the side there. What we're going to do is we're going to start right here in the middle. We're going to stay very close to the lash line and work my way out. Like this. Take your time. It is not a race. You do not want to mess this up because it is waterproof and it's a booger to fix. Ta-da! And you see, it already gives a little definition to the lashes, but if I were to bring it in any further, it would make me look heavy and it just wouldn't look nice. So starting in the middle, going outwards, if you have smaller eyes or hooded eyes, just makes it look nice and what is the word I'm looking for? Neat. We want it to look neat, not sloppy, not too heavy. Let's do the other eye, okay? All right. As much as you want to, try not to pull on your eye, because when you pull on your eye, you're moving your skin, right? So like if you want to do a little wing, don't pull your eye because you're going to think you're winging it this way, but when you let your skin go, it's going to be like straight out. What I'm doing now is I did not go back into the pot. I'm just using whatever is residual on the brush and just kind of blending and blurring out that little starting place into my lash line. Now, yay. Whenever you're doing really big eyeshadow, which for most this isn't really big eyeshadow, but when you do really big eyeshadow and you're wanting to keep it light, fresh, and bright, always get you a white liner to do your bottom waterline. It does make a difference. Maybe very subtly, but it does make your eyes look bigger, see? So let's do a little mascara and we'll throw on some lashes. So lashes are definitely optional. It's not something that you have to do, but on occasions like today where you're gonna have pictures done and you wanna bring a little more attention to your beautiful eyes, I highly recommend lashes. Today I'm just using the Ardelle brand Demi Wispies. For my lash glue, I'm using today the Duo Quick Set Strip Lash Adhesive. FYI, it says do not freeze. And I do recommend getting a clear glue, a clear finished lash glue. But what you want to do is get your lash. Tools like this are helpful, but you can also use tweezers. Apply the glue, let it sit a couple seconds before you put it on the lid. You also want to measure it and cut it if you need to before you put it on the lid. That way you don't end up with big, crazy looking eyelashes that will not stay on. Then you want to take your lash and just kind of place it in the middle first. Like that. And then kind of, hold on, bring it, I'm going to drag it inwards a little bit and then lay down the corners. So start from the middle and work your way out, is my advice on that. I'm going to finish this off camera. Now I've decided that I want to go back into my palette and do a little lower lash line liner, but I want to use a shadow. So I'm going to dip back into this dark color here, Branch, and I'm going to get a flat edged brush. And we're going to just gently tap it on the outer corner of the lower lash line, like so. Yeah, I don't want to overdo the liner, but I decided I do want a little bit, just to bring a little more attention to the eyes. And then just kind of blend it very gently. think that looks a little nicer. So now that I have the lashes on, I am going to go back over with the mascara and just kind of marry my natural lash to the false lash. Just kind of blend those in together. We're almost done though, so no worries. Now what we need to do is we need to do brows and lips. So let's go ahead and throw on a little bit of brow liner. I'm going to use the shade Blonde. No, sorry, medium blonde. Medium blonde, something like that. And we're not going to give myself, I'm not going to give myself big, thick brows. I just want to fill in what I have. My brows are very skinny, very sparse, so I do need to work on them. Also, I do recommend if you're going to have your eyebrows waxed or anything done to your face, you definitely need to do it a few days ahead of time. That way, if you have any kind of weird reaction to something, like to the wax or irritation or whatever it may be, you want to give it a few days to clear up before your wedding day. So we're just going to go through here now. Fill these in with little strokes, just following the natural hair growth. Your brows do frame your face, so it is important to fill them in a little bit for pictures. Pictures in the flash can kind of wash you out anyways, you know. You definitely want to do something in this area. See, it makes a huge difference, especially like way back here. Just really defines the face more. I'm going to keep flicking through here until I'm just satisfied with how it looks. I do kind of like to fluff the brows a little bit. I just think it looks nice. So I'm going to fluff it up towards the front and then just kind of smooth it down. Let's do the other side off camera. I'm going to take whatever is left over on my concealer brush here and just kind of barely carve out my brows. It just kind of highlights them a little bit, makes them look a little bit nicer and neater. And then I'm going to use my finger, make sure your finger's clean. I'm going to use my finger and blend it. Next I'm going to throw on some Give Me Brow Gel. Just to keep them in place. Make sure none of those little hairs decide to get squirrely later in the day. If you're like me and tend to get a little sloppy with your brow gel or your eyeliner or your mascara or whatever, here's my tip. Let it dry. Grab a liner pencil or anything with a spoolie brush and just scratch it off once it's dry. Today I'm going to use the Pretty Filter Soul Velvet Lipstick. This is in the shade Seol Rose. I think that's it. But see how pretty and pink it is? And I'm going to line my lips with the Kylie Cosmetics lip liner, and I'm all the way down to the bottom, and I can't remember what color it is, but it's nude. And I'm not going to overline. I'm just going to follow the natural shape of my lips. Sorry, I can't talk and do lip liner at the same time. Just can't do it. Once I have them outlined, I am going to color them in some with the lip liner. It's going to make your color last a lot longer. I'm going to go ahead and go in with this lip color. So I've decided I want to brighten up the inner corners of my eyes just a little bit, and I'm going to use some of the Perfect Face Shimmer Pigment. This is in the shade Grace. So it's like almost white, but like white gold, you see? With a wet brush, and it's got a tapered edge like this, kind of smaller. I'm going to dip into the shimmer pigment. It's a loose powder, so be very careful. It can make a mess. And I'm just going to place it right here on the inner corner. And kind of bring it down up under a little bit and connect it to my liner. Just to give a little pop. Do you see how much just a little bit can change your eye look? Just brightening up this inner corner makes a huge difference. There. I'm going to take my Ofra highlighter in the shade Sea Shimmer and just do the tip of my nose and then right through here. Cheekbones. You want to do wherever the light would naturally fall on your face. So the highest part of your cheekbone. And then whatever's left over, I'm going to take under my eyebrow there. And then I'm going to put a little bit on the Cupid's bow. Okay. For the actual wedding, I do recommend just going in with your lipstick. But I love to glam my look up with gloss. So for the wedding, just go in with your lipstick because you are going to have to smooch on your groom. So wait until the reception. Throw on some gloss. I am obsessed with Rihanna's Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb. This one is called Sweet Mouth and I just love it. It's so pretty, so gorgeous. It's very glossy and beautiful, but it's not sticky and it lasts a long time. And it's mostly sheer, so when you put it on, it doesn't really change the color of your lipstick, just kind of ups the glam factor a little bit. So here we have the finished look for today. I know it would be a lot more glamorous if I did something more with my hair, but I have to film during nap time. I have 2 children, excuse me. And according to my baby monitor, nap time is over. So this is the finished look. Let me know what you think. If there is anything that you would change, if you have any tips or advice for others, if you would wear it on your wedding date, do you love it? Do you hate it? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more content.
I was going to say that.
Okay.
Let me know in the comments too.
Let us know in the comments below what you think, and we hope you have a great day. Yeah. If you want to see more content, please hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell down there. Right down there. It's somewhere. Hit the little bell so that each time I upload, you will be notified. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. I hope this video was super helpful, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.